Okay, so you guys know that scene in that last episode of Love After Lockup where Keirsten and Brady went to it was like the vending machine area, the hotel they were staying at, to like kiss and have some intimate time. I don't know, they're trying to make it like kind of suggest like maybe they went further than kissing, but they're like making out behind the vending machine. And I think she took his shirt off. Well, I just had a feeling. I'm like, whenever I was watching it, I was like, this has to be something that was suggested by producers. I don't see this being something that was their idea. And Keirsten did a video and she pretty much confirmed that this was something the producers pushed her to do. And she said a lot of times she felt uncomfortable with things that they would ask her to do. But she said they did it because they wanted that check from the show. So let's see what Keirsten had to say. She made like a 6-minute long video. Okay, so this is her TikTok. Her page is officially Keirsten.
I've been really going through some things, genuinely. Ever since my first episode of Love After Lockup came out, it's just been a constant slew of cyberbullying, and I try my best not to read any of it. However, people still feel the need to send the stuff to me, which it is what it is. But don't be fooled by what you see on TV. My stepdaughters are very much in the other room right now, sleeping. And that episode really, really rubbed me the wrong way. They've made me out to look super, super, super dick thirsty. And I mean, like, these are all scenes that, like, I felt like if I didn't give them, they would keep asking and keep asking and keep asking and keep filming and keep filming and keep filming until they got what they wanted. So you eventually get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm just going to be as dramatic as possible right off the rip. That way they can get their scene and I can be done with it and I don't have to do it again and again and again and again. You learn that very quickly.
That makes sense for her to be so reactive, but that could also be an excuse for why she is so reactive at times.
So everything is super, super dramatized. Not even a lot of it is even kind of like the reality. As far as Remington being sick, she had a swollen lymph node, but we knew like it was kind of something that wasn't the reason why they didn't come. They had cold feet, which I understand completely.
I said that in my video. I didn't want to say it at first because I didn't want to be that person to suggest something and then be completely wrong if that wasn't the case. But I couldn't help but feel that way. I was like, I kind of have a feeling that maybe the mom just didn't want her or the daughter to be on TV, especially this quick. And that's what it sounds like happened, which I think is completely valid. Honestly, if I was going to a trash TV show like this, I would not want my kids involved at all.
Production wanted to push this meeting of his daughters at the same time as my kids, which none of us really wanted anyways in the first place to begin with. I wanted him to have a moment with his children followed by moments with my children, but they didn't want to come back and film twice while my husband was in the halfway house. They wanted to get it all done at once. So really, like, we're just doing what production wants. And as far as us doing the show, the only reason why we did the show, we don't want to be fucking famous. We honestly enjoy our privacy. If you guys can't tell, we don't have social media. I have my TikTok and that's it. But we didn't want fame or anything. We just needed the money because my husband went to prison for 6 years and he has a bunch of back pay child support that has to be paid down. So it was always about the money. It was never about getting famous. It was never about getting clout or exposure or anything like that, because quite frankly, I don't want this many people in my life. I don't, but it's too late for that now.
Well, good for him. I hope he used some of his money to pay some of his back child support.
And I might get in trouble for like airing this out. But I don't care. You know, they can paint me in any light that they want. And I'm not allowed to stand up for myself or say anything, and I'm quite frankly over it. There is a large group of previous cast members that I have gotten together that have shared really shitty horrible stories of things that they've had to do for the cameras, and that they've never been able to tell their side of the story. And that's wrong, because if we can be exploited off of our names, plastered all over national TV, we should be able to at least speak on our side of things. As far as Corey and I go, my husband and I were very much together before me and Corey had to do for the cameras, and that they've never been able to tell their side of the story. And that's wrong, because if we can be exploited off of our names, plastered all over national TV, we should be able to at least speak on our side of things.
I feel like that's something she can do once her NDA expires. But it's probably going to be at least, I think it's like 2 to 4 years, the Love After Lockup NDAs.
As far as Corey and I go, my husband and I were very much together before me and Corey had even hung out for the first time or became friends. Corey and I decided that since me and Brady are together, and Brady's going to be getting out of prison, and he's going to be living with me, we wanted the girls to know who I am. That way they are comfortable with me before their dad comes home from prison. Why they didn't want to explain it that way, I don't know. But even Corey can vouch for that herself. I'm sure she will. Corey and I are still friends. We still hang out. We still get along. But yeah, we decided to do what most adults should do and build a friendship and also co-parent together, because I married Brady. I plan on being together with Brady for the rest of my life, and his daughters are a part of that. So I wanted them to be comfortable with me, and I wanted them to see me and their mother getting along. So it wasn't just like me and Corey were best friends and I went after her baby daddy. No, that's not what happened. Corey and I became friends after.
Yeah, they didn't explain that very well during the show. They did kind of make it look like she was saying, I thought this was, oh my God, what happened? Did she take it down? Yo, the weirdest thing just happened. I was just watching the video and I can't find it. Maybe she got in trouble and the network made her take it down. Because it was just up here on the very top row. Let me refresh. And it had like 30K views or something. It was like one of her best videos as of recently. Yep, it's gone. Okay, we're going to have to... luckily, I got a link. Somebody posted on Facebook. Hang on.
Me and Corey had even hung out for the first time or became friends. Corey and I decided that since me and Brady are together, and Brady's going to be getting out of prison, and he's going to be living with me, we wanted the girls to know who I am. That way they are comfortable with me before their dad comes home from prison. Why they didn't want to explain it that way, I don't know. But even Corey can vouch for that herself. I'm sure she will. Corey and I are still friends. We still hang out. We still get along. But yeah, we decided to do what most adults should do and build a friendship and also co-parent together, because I married Brady. I plan on being together with Brady for the rest of my life, and his daughters are a part of that. So I wanted them to be comfortable with me, and I wanted them to see me and their mother getting along. So it wasn't just like...
See, that's important. I wish more people would. They rushed getting married, but I wish more people would be smart and do things smart, like take things slow and really try to get to know people before just rushing and introducing them to your kids.
It's like me and Corey were best friends and I went after her baby daddy. No, that's not what happened. Corey and I became friends after me and Brady were... I'm pretty sure we were already married by the time me and Corey became friends. Actually, matter of fact, we were. But I don't know why we're not allowed to like show the actual reality of things. It's weird to me, but yeah, that is the actual reality. We were friends after me and my husband got married. But they want to make it look like I just like went after my friend's baby daddy.
Yeah, they kind of made it look that way. I mean, not like bad, but I was definitely like, okay, this is your homegirl, and now you're dating her baby daddy.
That's not the case. And as far as like the spicy scenes, I did not want to do any of those actually. But it was like, I don't know, it felt so forced. But anyways, all of this to say that this show has not once checked up on us since the episodes have been released. They haven't checked up on our mental health. They haven't offered any type of resources for us, knowing what we're going through, knowing how their fans are. And it's just wrong.
Which is like, I don't know if you guys seen that Jerry Springer documentary. I think it was on Netflix. Was it Netflix or HBO Max? But yeah, it came out recently, and they revealed like when they send them to the show, they send them in a limo, and they sit there and give them the nicest food. They wine and dine them. They're super friendly. They're calling them and checking in on them constantly and providing them their every what need. But after the show, they put them, I think they said they put them in a cab, and they rush them home as quick as possible, and they don't call them anymore after that. It goes from them like being such a big part of your life on a daily basis leading up to the show to afterwards, they just move on so quickly, like you never even existed.
Super wrong. And one day, everything will come to light, and I know it will, and I have faith it will, and I pray every day. I pray every night. I pray to God.
Well, she's not one of the worst storylines this season. Yeah, she can be a hothead, but now I'm curious, like, is that just her trying to be as reactive as possible so she doesn't have to film multiple takes like she's saying? Or is that just kind of an excuse for her being a hothead? But besides that, we've seen far worse this season and previous seasons. I feel like that's why they were so quick to focus on how quick she was to fly off the handle, because they really didn't have much else with their storyline outside, like, you know, the kids not showing up.